Today I fucked up by not being precise when reprimanding an employee. Obligatory. This didn't happen today, but 2-ish years ago. A few years back I was working as a team leader for a fundraising agency. I was responsible for one of the street fundraising teams, you know, those annoying girls and guys in colorful t-shirts, that want your money for some charity. And had a new guy in my team. While I was talking to someone about the charity that we were working for, I noticed some commotion going on behind me. I turned around to see the new guy in a pretty intense, verbal fight with someone that's just about to get physical. Of course I apologize, walk over to him and ask him what the fuck he thinks he is doing. He then explains to me that the other guy is a neo-Nazi who apparently was harassing some students and new guy intervened. Fair enough, the person in question turned out to actually be a neo-Nazi and the students confirmed his story, so I explained to him that while I hold him helping some students being harassed by neo-Nazis in high regard, I never want to see him get in a physical fight with anyone ever again, while wearing a t-shirt with the charity's logo, and to rather just call the cops. Fast forward a week or so. Me and my team are doing our jobs as per usual. New guy hadn't had any issues after this and was doing pretty well. I hear someone shouting some obscenities. Nothing out of the ordinary, people don't like being bothered by us, and some react aggressively. That's just part of the job. I still turn around to see what's going on, only to see new guy take off his shirt and punch someone in the face. Of course I immediately run over and fire him on the spot. If you have time to take off your shirt, then it's not self-defense, and ask him what the fuck is going on. He answers, "But you told me not to fight when wearing the charity's clothes," so I took it off with an impressively puzzled look on his face. He really didn't understand what he got fired for. TL doctor told a junior colleague not to fight people while wearing his work clothes. A week later he punches someone in the face, but takes off his t-shirt first. Edit to clarify, some of you seem to misunderstand something. He was not fired for standing his ground in the interaction with the neo-Nazi. He was fired for punching someone else in the face over being insulted, a week later. Well, he did listen to what you've told him. This might be the best Today I Fucked Up I've read in a while. It had action, it had plot twists, it didn't use sex to sell itself. Bravo. Thanks. I honestly couldn't believe my eyes when I saw him take off his shirt. Oh, so that's why people take their shirt off in those street fight videos. Oh, I never considered that. They're all just trying to keep their jobs. For a charity that's getting harassed and assaulted so much, maybe this guy would be worth keeping around for defensive purposes. I'm very curious as to what kind of charity op worked for that makes people want to fight them so badly. He did exactly what you asked. I mean, yeah, technically speaking he did exactly what he was told. Just took it a tad too literal. Today I fucked up by running with bone conduction headphones. Now I have tinnitus. Update, please see update at the bottom of this post. I'm fine. Bought bone conduction headphones 2 weeks ago to wear while running. They sit on your cheekbones and conduct vibration through your bones instead of through your eardrums to reach your cochlea. So you're hearing music inside your head but can still hear all of the ambient sounds of cars, etc. Marketed as a safer solution for runners. When I got them in the mail, I was surprised at how quiet my music was with these headphones. I had to turn them up almost all the way to get even a half-decent volume on my runs. Turns out they were actually loud. I just couldn't hear the music over the ambient sounds of the city. Today I tried plugging my ears and listening to them, and the music is so loud inside my head. Unplug my ears and the perceived volume decreases. So, the fuck up, I ran for an hour a day for 2 weeks with full volume music in my head without knowing. A few days ago I started noticing sound sensitivity, headache, and ringing in my ears. Yesterday I went for another run with music, and developed a headache part way through. Today I woke up to a splitting headache and piercing high-pitched ringing. It's lasted all day. That's when I realized what must have happened. That's when I tested my theory with earplugs and the headphones. I've had mild tinnitus for my entire life. I'm completely freaked that I may have permanently damaged my ears. Too long didn't read, accidentally listened to music at full volume for 2 weeks. Possibly permanent consequences to my hearing. Don't be like me, kids. Update. Good lord, this took off. I've never in my life had a post get this much attention. Talk about a welcome to Reddit experience. I want to emphasize that I am just one person and my experience may be coincidental. Maybe it's allergies. Maybe it's a migraine. Maybe the isolation of quarantine is finally getting to me. I have no way of actually scientifically determining that my hearing issue has intensified because of the use of these headphones. It just happened to occur within 2 weeks of me getting them and beginning daily use. I'm no doctor and I haven't seen one. I have had mild tinnitus for my entire life. I have no memory of true silence, except when I use that temporary tap your head trick. I just feel like the high-pitched screaming is a lot more noticeable right now, and it's accompanied by a headache. This could be real, or it could be stress-induced and psychological because I'm focusing on it and worried about it. I realize I have thousands of people screaming at me to walk myself right into a specialist's office right now, but it's a lot harder when I have to consider my current financial situation. I will probably visit urgent care and speak with a doctor there, have them check me for sinus or impacted earwax, etc. If they rule out other causes, and advise I get further testing, I will have to decide what my next step is. Thank you for every one of you for weighing in with concern, advice, and boner jokes. Really, if you are reading this thread and are suffering from a sudden increase of tinnitus, and have the means to see an audiologist or ENT, or even visit urgent care, it's probably a good idea. Remember that people on the internet are not a substitute for trained medical professionals. Update number 2. The tinnitus continued to increase to the point I was having trouble hearing or sleeping, so I went to urgent care. Looked in my ears and said, "Wow, yep, you have a lot of fluid built up in there. Probably allergies." And gave me a steroid and a prescription for allergy medicine. Too long didn't read, I got a shot in my butt and my hearing should return to normal soon. Hey, I've had tinnitus for the last 10 years. It sucks, and it may even get worse. But the one thing I can tell you is that you get used to it. On the few bad days the tinnitus will seem overwhelming, but most of the time you will hopefully not even notice it. It almost becomes part of the everyday background noise, after a while. I know it's not any heartening advice, but you will get used to it. Stay safe and use earplugs at the club. You should talk to a drive. I feel like I probably should. I don't know how to do that. My family has a history of not seeing doctors often, so it's not normal for me to do. I don't know where to start. Do I just go see my regular PCP? A specialist? How would I find someone who knows about hearing? The concept of actually seeing a doctor for a specific concern is so foreign. I really wish I had that life skill. Welcome to the fold. Hijacking top comment to let you know how quickly you must act on it. Got tinnitus myself and sought help after a week and was still too late. Doctor said if you seek help in the first 3 days you have better chances at recovery. For me it is already too late. I have made amends with the fact that total silence won't be the same anymore and that I'll have to deal with it my entire life. Just keep yourself busy as much as possible if you won't recover, and 90% of the time you won't even notice it. Worst time is when I'm trying to sleep, but I started sleeping with the TV on and it helps. Not mind you to stress, and for the first month it sucked, but I learned to live with it. Hope you recover from it. Think this is the first today I fucked up that isn't sexual in any way. Can not resist urge. These were boner conduction earphones. /me ducks and hides. Edit /me sticks head out of cover, notices a corpse, tips hat and dives back into cover. And this is why you never trust the word of the product's salesperson /ads etc. They are not marketed as a safer solution for your ears, they are safer for running and biking because you can actually hear what is going on around you. Today I fucked up taking my eye off my 3-year-old for 30 seconds. So my toddler was hungry, I was in the middle of making dinner, that she probably wouldn't eat anyway, so I gave her some popcorn and cut up an apple for her, then returned to the kitchen to finish dinner. Everything seemed fine until she was about to go to bed for the night, when she just started crying and pointing at her nose. I shined my flashlight up there and she had shoved a goddamn popcorn kernel up her nose. It was obvious that tweezers would only make it worse, so I took her to the ER in our town. The whole hospital staff thought it was pretty funny. doctor came in and told me the popcorn kernel removal procedure is something called the mother's kiss and told me how to do it. I had to hold down her clear nostril, lock my mouth over hers and blow hard into her mouth. I did this and the popcorn kernel came shooting out like a fucking snot-covered bullet and ricocheted around the room. We never found its landing place. We were all just happy it was out, even if I was covered in boogers. Too long didn't read. My 3-year-old thought it would be fun to put a popcorn kernel in her nose when I wasn't looking. Google the mother's kiss. My older sister once stuck a crayon up her nose, but my dad took a different approach. She was definitely the type to struggle and kick and such when they were trying to help her. She was 3 or so. My dad waited until she was walking around the house, snuck up behind her, quickly put his hand over her mouth and the free nostril and screeched to scare the piss out of her, and subsequently, the crayon. He got startled and screamed in response and the pressure blew the crayon out, smiley face. I really could have used this information about 22 years ago. Instead, I taped a straw to the vacuum cleaner hose and sucked the corn kernel out. Pretty stupid in retrospect. My daughter did the same when she was 3 with a bead she found. We tried all kinds of techniques. Before I was ready to take her to the hospital, my grandma from Greece called and told her what's going on. She told me to have her smell some red pepper. Did it and the bead shot out of her nose like a bullet. She sneezed with the red pepper. My 3-year-old projected a bead from his nostril whilst having a tantrum. He couldn't tell me how long or when it had gone up there apart from the day the dinosaur ate the lizard. My 6-year-old tells me she gave that particular bead to him to make him stop crying after he fell off the ottoman, which was 2 weeks prior. Holy shit, I read that as took the eye off my 3-year-old. I was expecting a horror show.